Hey everyone. Today I'm talking to Dr. Felix Ngassa, the chairperson of the University Academic Senate, about faculty governance.
Well, I joined Senate. The reason, first of all, that I joined Senate is I had done a lot of departmental service. I'd done some service at the university level with smaller committees, and then I'd gone through all the process. I was tenured already. I know my teaching was good already. I'd gotten everything going the way I wanted it to be. My research was very good, very productive, and I was very comfortable that I could take on a leadership role and still be able to get my research going. Because if I didn't know I could do it, I wouldn't do it. Because I want to be able to balance the three areas of my job, being teaching, research, and service. So at the point where I was, and that was also shortly after after I completed my MBA at the Sidman College of Business. I'm somebody I like big picture. I like to be so what the University Academic Center gave me was, looking at the university at a more broader perspective, looking at things more holistically and be able to understand, the workings of the university, how the different colleges, different departments are contributing to the whole. And that's what I like, in my life generally. So it was a very good fit for me. And so I seek, because it's the highest faculty governance body. And so I seek, that position elections. I won the elections, and I've been there since the fall of 2021. I'm going to be starting my ninth year, and that's my last of my, because it's my third term. There is no term limits, but I think that will be enough for me at the end of 2022 April. I think once I finish my term, I would just like to get out, and then just do other things, look for other challenges, and then maybe someday, if need be, I may go back, but I think I would have served enough for somebody else to do it.
Once you became the chair of the Senate, what did you work on?
Right.
What were like your holistic goals for like what direction did you want to take the Senate in?
Right. So, one of the things I like to do in whatever leadership position I hold is I like to be able to be remembered or leave something that's a lasting impression by the time I leave from that position. So when I came into Senate, I realized that, over the years, there was no newsletter. Senate had no newsletter. You could not go to the website and see that, okay, say in 2010, this is what, this was the Senate chair and this is what was accomplished in terms of, a record of different things that happened. I mean, yes, you had the minutes, you had the agenda items, you had, even the reports. There were no annual reports. The reports were verbal reports, which were done, at the Board of Trustees meetings. So when I came, I said, in addition to the verbal reports, I'm going to have, documented reports. So if somebody came back, say, hey, let's see what Senate did 6 years ago, they can go to the Senate Faculty Governance website, they can scroll down and look at it, and they can find it. And then I, came up with the idea of a newsletter, which is, we're starting our fourth year, because this is my fourth year being a chair. So this is our fourth year. And for each of the years, I chose a theme. So my first year of being a chair, the theme of our Senate newsletter was shared governance, what it means, because sometimes even faculty members, people get confused, because when you come from, a different school, there are different ways of faculty governance. Okay, faculty governance is overall theme. But within faculty governance, you have what is called shared governance, which means that you have the faculty and the administrators on the table. We are working in collaboration. We are making decisions for the good of the institution. There isn't any adversarial kind of relationship. We're not butting heads. Now you have other places where they have unions, where they have collective bargaining. Everything is done by this is what it says, and that's and so on. And then you also have cases where you just have like an independent faculty group that is just to advocate for different things. And in that case, what ends up happening is that that's strictly all faculty members. There's no administrators involved. And so what ends up happening in a case like that, in as much as it is good to sit down and talk and argue and think about things that are beneficial to faculty, you also want to make sure that these are things that can be done, that these are things that it fits within the strategic priority of the university, right? Because it's one GBSU. there are different groups. You have faculty, you have staff, and so on. And staff arrange, you have the AP staff, you have the PSS staff. So, we are all doing the same thing. You cannot go to class if the classrooms have not been kept clean and well taken care of by facility services. And so on. You cannot go to class and sit there without the professor being there to teach. So what this means is that, in this enterprise, we are all contributing. And so I prefer what we have, which is the shared governance model, where in our meetings, you have an administrator who is an ex officio member, doesn't have any voting rights, and you have the faculty who are the ones who vote. So everything is faculty oriented. That is true. But the good thing about that is that when we come up with initiatives, we can talk about it with the administrators present. And we can share ideas and say, this is what we want. And administration can say, hey, but yes, I see what you want. But if we look at the big picture of, the way things are going, maybe our budget cannot be able to meet that. Why not? Let's try to do this for now. And then maybe next time we can do this. So in that kind of a collaborative, working environment, we get a lot done, in my opinion. Okay, so those are some of the things I did. So, the thing about the newsletter was there. The thing about, annual reports, the thing about, regular communication with faculty. Prior to that, there wasn't that regular communication. So every time we have our University Academic Senate meeting, which is an open meeting, I have an email that's sent out to all faculty members explaining each of the agenda items. Say, hey guys, this is what we're going to be talking about. So if it's something that you feel very strongly about, either you can contact your senator or, you can contact me and, you can share your opinion. What do you think about it? So that can, it gives people the chance to be able to weigh in. So that wasn't done in the past. So those are things I've done, and like I said, so the first year was shared governance, what it means. The second year was what I call the faculty factor of the Leica effect. We talk about the Leica effect all the time, right? So what is the part of the Leica effect that is faculty's contribution? So that's kind of the way the theme was on the second year. And I invite contributions from faculty members, and people write about what they think and how they contribute to the Leica effects and how they touch the lives of their students. They're very good publications, and it's all posted in the faculty governance website. And the third year, which was last year, 2019-2020, the theme was liberal education for the 21st century, right? So liberal education for the 21st century was the theme of our third edition of the newsletter. And this year is going to be for shared governance, tenacity in the face of COVID-19. Okay, so that's the theme of this year's. Makes sense because of, we're in the year of COVID. So that's what the theme is going to be this year. So we're writing articles on how has, the COVID, how has COVID, helped you to appreciate the role of shared governance? How has COVID, giving us new ways of interacting and making connections with our students? How has COVID given us new ways to be able to teach our classes, do things that we didn't do in the past? And what are some of the things that we've seen from the COVID experience that we're going to be taking along even after COVID is gone? So those are important things to document.
You introduced the newsletter to the Senate. Can you break down the structure of that? Like, do you have a template for what a newsletter looks like? And
Right.
Why did you design it the way you did?
Good question. Well, the good thing is that I had experience already doing the chemistry department newsletter, which I did for 11 years, right? So I started in the chemistry department in 2003 first. I came in there as a visitor, and then a position opened up, a tenure track position. I applied, I got it in 2004. So officially, like Grand Valley tenure track line was 2004. So 1 year into my tenure track career, one of my colleagues who was doing the chemistry department newsletter for the longest time ever decided to step down. He was retiring in 2005. And, I just got this email one day. I was like, well, I'm retiring now. I've looked around the department. You're the person I've seen that would be good to do the newsletter. And I was like, I just started. you see, so there are two things in that statement. One is, well, thank you for the confidence. The second is, oh my goodness, are you trying to set me up for failure? You see what I'm saying? And so to me, I always take everything that I do, I must make a difference. If I cannot make a difference, I don't do it. And so when I say yes, in that particular case, I didn't seek, to do that as the editor of the chemistry department newsletter. It was just given to me. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. I said, okay, let me look at a couple of the editions that he had done in the past. Looked at it, I said, okay, I see. But what I noticed was that in the newsletter that that was done in the past, it was just all words, no pictures, just words. So it was just like, so bland, just like, just a paper. Just like, I'm like, okay, I think we can do some creative things here. No, we can actually, make it thematic, like put a theme and then invite people to contribute, to write, and then also have some pictures. Students are going to present in national meetings. Oh, capture the students, put their photos in there, ask the students some questions about their experiences. So it really, really became, very rich newsletter. So I did that for 11 years. So I did that from 2005 to 2016. And so everybody was happy. Every year was like, whoa, like, normally, I don't know if you know this, but every year we get reviewed by our colleagues. And of course, our classes also get the student evaluations and so on. But the students don't know that. But from my colleagues, in all the reviews, it was always, oh, he does so great with the newsletter. Everybody liked it. But what people failed to understand was that the amount of work that was involved, okay? It was a lot, because in a way, I gave that to myself, meaning that I could have just let it be the simple form that he was doing in the past. That would have been easy. But because I want to make it big and, more impactful, that meant I had to gather all these things. I had to track people down. People are going to meet it. Hey, please take some pictures, send me the pictures, all those things. You have to monitor things and make sure they work. So I had done that for a long time, and so people like that, right? But I got to the point where, in 2016, I said, well, guys, I've done this myself, because I was doing single-handedly. I said, at this point, I think it's time to pass it on to somebody else. So that is when I noticed that, and I'm sure some people recognize that, wow, this was a lot of work. So when I passed it on in 2016, they decided now it was going to be a committee to do it. Okay, keep in mind, this has been done by one person, me, okay, for 11 years. So from that time on, we had this chemistry department communications committee. So that was the committee that was doing it. So it was divided into different people. Say, person A, you collect information for this, B does this, C does this. So it makes it very easy to put it together at the end, which is good. But just to tell you, so when I moved then into Senate, because I had that experience already, it was something that I know the impact of those kinds of things. So it was just it was easier for me to just, get that in there, so to speak, because I had some experience already. In Senate, we have two groups. One is called ECS, which stands for the Executive Committee of the Senate. That's like kind of like your Senate, okay? And you have the University Academic Senate, which is kind of like the big Senate. But if you want to think about the US system, it's like the House of Representatives, okay? It's a bigger group. And then your ECS is like the Senate, right? It's a smaller group of about, 7 from class, and then 2 from Sidman College of Business, as 9, and then 1 from each of the colleges. That will make 16, plus the president of the student senate. Okay, and then the provost is an ex officio member. So it's a group of about 16, 17 people. So that's a very small group. That's the ECS. And so, the chair is a chair for the ECS and the US. Because to belong to the ECS, you must be a member of both bodies, right? And so, yeah, those regular communications, so try to be more transparent and make sure the faculty know what's happening, has been also something that I take very seriously, and it's been, appreciated, since I came in as well.
You mentioned that you were taking a well-earned break from this position after being in it for a while. What would you hope the future of the Senate looks like?
So what I hope, once my tenure, expires 2022 and I'm out of Senate, I will hope that Senate will continue our shared governance tradition, which I think is robust because of the mutual trust and respect that Senate has with the administration working, because the provost is the administrative head of Senate. And there's a very close relationship between the leadership of Senate and the entire Senate, because the provost, traditionally is a faculty member as well, right? And our provost, is a faculty member, was a faculty member in philosophy, and then became provost. So so that's somebody who understands faculty life, and it's very important that that mutual relationship is there, because what we do, we make recommendations, and those recommendations, guess where they end up at the provost office. So the provost has to accept or deny, right? So you can see how critical that is, because if you don't have that relationship where there are no surprises, you're working in collaboration, you're working for the same interest, and then you're trying to craft these things out. And of course, what I'm doing, our role, and all of us who are senators, is working for faculty interest. That's our role, right? That is it. But for us to be able to get things done, it's important that that collaboration is there. We keep that relationship. We fight as much as we can fight for faculty, but also keeping that balance, because in shared governance, there is an aspect which is called maximum participation in decision making. We want to be there. We don't want to be told that this has happened. We want to be involved actively in the process. But at the same time, somebody has to be accountable. And that's the appointing officer. In the case of the direct relationship with Senate, that's the provost, and to an extent, the president of the university. So it's important then, therefore, that we have this collaborative relationship and keep it this way, and not think of anything that's adversarial, because in that case, I don't think things will get done. So that's what I'm hoping that's going to continue, that the robust tradition of shared governance that we've tried to build all these years should continue. There is the tendency, and there is the well, the grass is green on the other side. There's always this aspect of human nature that you get to a point like I want this, or it should be such that why are they so close to the administration? But if you don't understand how we work, then it's easy to say that. But if you understand our bylaws and what the bylaws say in terms of our processes and procedures, then you see the need for us to work together. So I hope that will continue.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my other interviews and keep an eye out for more of them in the future.